Okay, so we're here with Jeremy. Jeremy's had the herd alert for a little while. How long have you had it now?
3 months.
Yep. So you put some kilometres behind it.
Yep, I have. Yep.
So in your mind, what's some of the most useful things that you use the herd alert for every day? The filling up experience after you go to the servo and fill it up?
Yep. So obviously, yeah, I'm running a flex fuel setup on my car at the moment. So knowing how much ethanol I've got on the fuel at any time is really handy. So yeah, pretty much as soon as I've filled up with fuel, particularly if I've been running 98 and then I'm switching to the 85, it's really handy to check the ethanol content button and just see what my ethanol levels are at.
Okay, so if you found that there was a low amount of ethanol, you would know not to go back to that servo?
Correct, yeah. If I was running full E85 and not flex fuel, it's obviously harder to tell when you've got 98 in the system, but if you've got 100% E85 in there, yeah, it's a good indication of whether it's a good fuel station or whether it's bad.
That's pretty handy. So what about driving the car if it's cold, if it's too cold? Like, has that come up before?
I try to drive it nicely when it is cold, but yeah, there's been a time or two where I've had to pull out in front of traffic and it's beeped at me to say that the engine temperature is too cold. So it's definitely something handy to know that I don't have to keep my eyes on it all the time and that it'll pick up when I'm driving it too hard when it's cold.
Okay, so that whole full screen message that says the engine's too cold.
Yeah, it pops up, beeps and says engine too cold.
Cool.
Is really handy.
And what about roll racing and drag racing and things that you've done? What sort of things do you keep an eye on when you're doing those?
I've had it for one racing event, and the key for me was really the intake temperatures to make sure that heat soak isn't a major problem. So obviously at drag events you're sitting with your car often running, waiting to do your next run without any air going into the car, so it's really hard to keep your heat soak out of it and keep the intake temperatures down. So using that to monitor where I'm at and turning the car off and on or doing other things to keep the heat soak down, I couldn't do that without having the herd alert, because it tells me where my temperatures are at.
When you're at the starting line and you're making sure that everything's okay, that's when you really keep an eye on it?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Okay.
Wanting to know what those temperatures are at just before I do a run is really important.
Cool. And what about any changes that you make to the car, or you've just had a service or something like that? What things do you find when you check the herd alert? What mods are you looking at perhaps getting?
Yeah, I mean, for me it's probably, I guess if it was after a service, just making sure all my temperatures are okay, particularly with the fluids, so the oils, gearbox oil, engine oil, all-wheel drive system, Haldex oil. So yeah, really important for that. Yeah, it's sort of just, I guess it's just peace of mind knowing that everything's okay and there's no problems.
Yeah, okay. And what about an air intake mod? You mentioned before about
intercooler.
Yeah, an intercooler or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what my intake temperatures are once I've got an upgraded intercooler on there. So again, I wouldn't be able to do that without the herd alert either. So it's really good to just have the data at my fingertips whenever I want it.
Rightio. Having the herd alert for a little while now, how would it feel suddenly not having the herd alert?
Like I'm naked.
Right. Okay. So not having the data there and everything else, it would feel a little bit.
I guess I'm the kind of person who I like data and I like to see what's going on. So yeah, not having it in the car would I guess just give me something to worry about, that something's not right, or like it's good to just have the data there to be able to look at, just to know that everything's okay with my car. Okay, cool. So it makes you feel a bit more safe. Correct, yeah. And just peace of mind that everything's okay. If I do want to drive the car a little bit harder, that everything's safe and it's fine to do so.
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. No worries. Well, thanks for your time, Jeremy.
That's all right.